So dear ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues and participants of the Theranostics World Congress 2026 here in South Africa. So my name is Odile Jaume, CEO of the ICPO Foundation. First of all, I would like to warmly thank the 8 TWC board, so namely Professor Satege, Zevart, Mokahola, Voster, Bohm, and Roche, for the opportunity to present our newly created honor for lifetime achievement in Theranostics today in the inspiring setting of Cape Town. Tonight we gather to celebrate science, but also something deeper. We celebrate resilience. Thank you, Suzanne. Resilience, vision, and the profound impact that one individual can have on patients, on medicine, and on the future of cancer care. This evening, the ICPO Foundation will present for the first time the Scott Smallwood Honor for lifetime achievement and outstanding scientific contributions in Theranostics, as well as novel radiopharmaceuticals with global sustainable impact. This honor recognizes an exceptional scientist whose pioneering work in Theranostics has transformed precision medicine from experimental concept to routine clinical reality. The honor emphasizes both the scientific contributions and the personal dedication that have been leading to profound impact today and for the future. Behind every publication and protocol lies something more powerful. Patients living longer with better quality of lives, relatives appreciating time together with a family member, hopeful and confident in their treatment and their future. In this perspective, today's honor is named after Scott Smallwood, a 63-year-old patient from the US whose personal journey and generosity have become a powerful driving force for progressing the field of theranostics, including at the ICPO Foundation. Diagnosed in 2014 with a pancreatic neuroendocrine tumor, Scott underwent complex surgery followed by radiotheranostics treatment with positive outcomes. In 2024, Scott gave an interview to the ICPO Foundation, advocating and guiding other patients. Deeply grateful for the care he had received and aware of the need for better access to such therapies, he chose to donate to the ICPO Foundation, helping to advance our mission of scaling patient access to theranostics worldwide. The Scott Smallwood Honor thus symbolizes the essential collaboration between patients, clinicians, and researchers, as well as philanthropists, in bringing targeted diagnostics and therapies to all patients in need. Let's now please shed light on the honoree. For the last 5 decades, the scientist has worked at the frontiers of theranostics and often beyond. The honoree has advanced targeted agents that unify diagnostic imaging and therapy, enabling more accurate tumor detection, personalized treatment selection, and measurable improvements in patient outcomes. I'm now delighted to call Professor Richard Bohm, trustee of the ICPO Foundation, to come on stage with me. So thank you, Richard, for officially presenting the Scott Smallwood Honor for Lifetime Achievement in Theranostics to Professor Helmut Maecke, emeritus from University Basel, Switzerland, and Freiburg, Germany. Helmut is one of the pioneers of theranostics. Unfortunately, Helmut's health condition did not allow him to travel to South Africa to be with us tonight. So we have the pleasure of welcoming Dr. Christina Müller, who will receive the honor on behalf of Professor Maecke and was kindly also accepted to tell us about his scientific achievements and personal merit. Dr. Müller is research group leader at the Paul Scherrer Institute and professor at the ETH in Zurich, Switzerland. So Richard, can you please proceed to hand over the honor to Christina? So Richard, I guess you have a few words to share with us.
Yeah, before I leave the stage here, I would like to say a few personal words, because I know Helmut Maecke since more than 30 years, and I have a personal story to tell about him, because Helmut made the first yttrium-90 DOTA talk in Basel in the night, and put a package on a train to Frankfurt, and where I was working at the university, and I picked up the parcel in the late morning, and ejected the very first patient in Germany with yttrium-90 DOTA talk, and indium-111, by the way, for imaging, so it was already something Theranostics. It was a very young boy who had a prognosis of just 6 months given by the pediatric oncologist, but he actually lived more than 8 years after this treatment. And Scott was also one of my patients, as you know, and for me a circle comes to close here. And I would really personally thank Helmut for what he has done over the last 30 years in the field. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. And this session is being recorded so that Helmut will receive it. So, Christina, the floor is yours.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, esteemed members of the Theranostics community, it is a great pleasure and a true personal pleasure for me to stand here today and to receive the Scott Smallwood Honor for Lifetime Achievement in Theranostics in the name of Professor Helmut Maecke, a scientist whose vision, precision and creativity have fundamentally shaped modern theranostics and nuclear medicine. I have had the privilege to meet Professor Maecke many times, in particular during my early scientific career, and each exchange with Professor Maecke proved immeasurably valuable in expanding my scientific horizons. Unfortunately, Professor Maecke cannot be with us in person today. Helmut Maecke's scientific journey began with his studies in chemistry at the University of Basel in Switzerland, where he earned his PhD in 1971. Early on, he demonstrated a rare ability to bridge disciplines, combining chemical precision with biological insight. Following his doctorate, formative postdoctoral years in the United States broadened his scientific horizon and set the stage for a career devoted to radiochemistry and nuclear medicine. Much of Professor Maecke's career is inseparably linked to the University Hospital Basel and the University of Basel in Switzerland, where he established an internationally recognized program in radiopharmaceutical chemistry. There he helped transform fundamental chemistry into clinically meaningful practice. Later, as head of the preclinical research and head of the Division of Radiological Chemistry in the Department of Nuclear Medicine at the University Medical Center Freiburg in Germany, Professor Maecke continued to drive innovation at the interface of science and medicine. Professor Maecke is best known as a pioneer of peptide-based radiopharmaceuticals. His groundbreaking work on DOTA-conjugated somatostatin analogues, most notably gallium-68 and yttrium-labeled DOTA-TOC, laid the foundation for today's peptide receptor radionuclide therapy, or PRRT. These compounds enabled highly sensitive imaging and targeted radionuclide therapy of neuroendocrine tumors and helped establish Theranostics as a practical clinical approach long before the term was actually widely used. Beyond individual radiopharmaceutical, Professor Maecke's scientific legacy lies in a philosophy. The careful optimization of ligands, peptides, and radionuclides to achieve maximum diagnostic accuracy and therapeutic precision. This systematic approach has influenced generations of radiopharmaceutical scientists and will continue to guide the development of new targeted radiopharmaceuticals. With over 450 scientific publications, review articles, and book chapters, Professor Maecke's impact extends far beyond the laboratory. His work is embedded in routine PET-CT imaging and PRRT protocols worldwide, directly benefiting countless patients. Few scientists can actually claim such a clear and lasting translation of chemistry into clinical care. In recognition of these achievements, Professor Maecke received the European Society for Molecular Imaging Award in 2014, among many other honors. Today, he is universally regarded as one of the leading figures in radiolabeled peptide theranostics. Dear Professor Maecke, lieber Helmut, your career exemplifies for me and for all of us in the theranostics community the scientific excellence, the intellectual curiosity, and the translational impact. Therefore, I'm delighted to receive in your name today the Scott Smallwood Honor for Lifetime Achievement in Theranostics presented by the ICPO Foundation. Congratulations and thank you for your enduring legacy.
Thank you very much, Christina, for a wonderful evocation of Professor Maecke and his lifetime achievements in theranostics.